Yo, what's up, guys? I know I haven't released a video in a while, and it's mainly because I haven't been playing Zoom too much. But I have this rake back challenge, which I'm going to try and get done today. So I thought I'd just flick in some Zoom to get some volume. And yeah, I probably haven't played Zoom in like a couple of months now, because I think win rates are legitimately higher on reg tables. They at least are for me. But yeah, I just thought I'd flick in Zoom, see how the pool's playing. Still the same nitty pool by the looks of it. I think we've dusted off a couple of stacks, 1-1. So maybe we're like one buying down. But yeah, maybe we'll go for like 20-25 minutes today, and see how we go. And plus, I'm getting a bit tired as well. It's like saying my thoughts out loud is gonna help for me. Alright, King 6 off, I believe, is a fold. Can maybe mix 3-bet sometimes there, but I think either's fine. I think probably like overbetting the over 3-betting the big blind is probably pretty good, even at these stakes. I was checking out my pre-flop stats earlier from my sample from this year, and yeah, even I've got like the classic leak of like under 3-betting from the big blinds, and under 4-betting as well versus big blind 3-bet. Like I think the big blind, the small blind 4-bet versus big blind 3-bet's like supposed to be around 20%. So I was like, oh shit. So I've taken a close look at that. Top left, I think we're versus the fish. I'm not really sure because like I've lost a lot of the tags on these players. Some of them do play reg tables as well, but I think versus fish we'll just start with a range bet on this board. But a pretty good board for us, which I think even the fish will recognise. On the turn, we're going to check and obviously check the side. We do need to generally call down pretty liberally against Wales. I mean, 51-25 over 60 hands obviously isn't like a great sample. But yeah, I think we can make some assumptions about that. Top right, this guy looks like he's check folding a lot, so we're just going to overbet, give up river. We're going to fold top left. Here again, at equilibrium, you're going to want to be a bit more selective, but when I see his stats, like check fold 75%, when he checks flop, I think it's just like really, really, really easy bet, just with range. Even like overbet sometimes might not be necessary. I never really know like whether it's the most efficient sizing, but I think my view is if they are overfolding turn, and then do call the turn, we can just give up rivers, and I think that's fine. Outside of poker, things have been going pretty well as well. King Jack off will fold. Was at a mate's wedding in Scotland last week. So I put on a kilt for the first time. Probably the last time as well. I was the first black guy I've ever seen in the kilt, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, Scottish weddings are a lot of fun. There's like this like ceilidh dance that you do like once the ceremony and that's over, which is really, really good fun. Just like swinging girls around, swinging boys around as well. Fucking unreal. King 7 off is going to open here. Guy looks like he's overfolding big blind. King deuce fold, and Ace Jack deuce is going to play overbet check. I think Queen Jack off probably does get in there sometimes, just so we got a little bit of coverage when we do bet we can hit trips on the turn. But I think I'm just going to check and play check call. Ace 9-7 just going to range bet, just still keeping it relatively simple. Now I think I like check again, and just calling all rivers, try and get him into an overbluff node. King 7 off now. We're going to give up on the bottom right. Could think about barreling it off, but I think this combo is pretty poor to do it, and we don't really want to overdo it. Blind on blind when we've got loads and loads and loads of bluffs. And King high again, I'm just going to check, have a slither of showdown. When he checks again, I don't really give him much credit for an ace. I think our second pair is good enough to overbet here exploitatively. If he has got an ace, GG. But I would probably do this with a lot of bluff as well that I do get here with. So we'll see if he levels himself, but he folds. Again, different size is probably good there. Like if we think he's got nothing, we can block, half pot, like whatever. I guess just do like just what you think's best. That's about as far as my thought process goes, which is probably why I'm still playing 100. Ace 9 of spades, cool. King 9 fold. King Queen versus fish here. It's going to pop. When they play like 23, if they have got a hand, they generally get pretty sticky from what I've seen. Ace 9 deuce. It looks like he's range bet here. I think I am just going to actually flick in a little check raise. Make it a little bit bigger. If my computer will let me. 5.5 seems good. Jack 3 fold. King 9. I'm going to check here. Get 3 bet. Just clicked on. Obviously easy fold. And ace 9 deuce. We're just going to call with second pair here. I don't think we actually do much raising with 9x, but hands like 5-6, 8-6, stuff like that, I think we might do some raising when we can make straights that he can't have. But I think it's going to be pretty low frequency, and we're going to be raising like pretty polar on this board as well. Polar at a low frequency, I believe. And obviously we'd rather have not spades here if we are going to do any raising. Think about here, think about what his range looks like. So right now I'm torn in between a small bet and a check. Obviously in a slightly tighter configuration here, but I think I am just going to block. Just never expecting to get raised, basically. I guess the key with this block size is to make sure that we do have some traps in there sometimes when we are raised, like now. 7-4 Jack deuce deuce is close, so I'm just going to bet versus this guy. Ace 8 through, going to range bet. Now it's pretty interesting. He's got pretty low like river aggression, the usual stuff. So now I'm like trying to level myself into a call, which is like something that I do. Yeah, but like he's just not bluffing here, so I'm just going to make a pretty easy fold, even though it sucks. Going to check top right, give up bluff rivers, and pocket tens. Just going to fold versus this guy, 18-16. He bets 2/3 here, top right. I think here, like, he's supposed to be pretty polar. I.e. like using pots over bet sizes. I mean, there's nothing we can do with 7-4. Maybe with this hand, we're better off checking and like going check call and then playing turns and rivers. Whereas I think when we sort of bet range a bit too much BVB, we have to do a lot of checking on turns. And when our like range is just full of trash when we check, we can just get mullered, and we can't really exploit guys making mistakes like on the turn. Not that that's a mistake. But I'm pretty sure that we should be going polar there. I think I'd be going polar there. But I don't know, I can check it out afterwards. Ten nine, 8 deuce. Captain Gant looking like a reg. 10-9 do 9-6 deuce. I think we can use 2/3 check. Gonna check. He goes half. I'm actually just gonna raise here. This size is often just like full of total garbage. and the hand's a little bit vulnerable as well. So like denying equity from hands like king, queen, flush draw, stuff like that seems pretty good. Pocket sevens, probably priced in here when we get the cold caller, and we've got pretty good implied odds if we do hit our set here. So let's just go for it. And we hit a set. Oh no set this time. What a shame. Probably like the worst board we could have asked for. Check. Yeah, whenever I record, like, my computer goes a bit slow. That's one thing that hasn't changed. Like, my shit laptop hasn't changed. I'm gonna open small here versus what looks like a whale. Start with probably a bet here. Actually, we've got a pretty strong draw. Just gonna go bet. Try and build a pot for when we do hit. On the 3 again, I think I'm just gonna overbet, and then we're just gonna basically check back rivers, unimproved. Not really thinking too much about it versus the fish, but that's probably like most of you guys have seen in like a lot of the poker content out there now. You know, there's a lot of like stuff about exploits, exploiting fish, stuff like that. So it looks like MDA is becoming a lot more popular. Seen some videos from Salo Costa who talks about it as well, which is pretty cool. He gives away a lot though, but pretty interesting. We're gonna squeeze the tens, fold here, and I think just call. Top left. Interesting turn. I think you should be doing a lot of checking here. Now I think we have a few sides we can check. I think we can half pot, we can stab. Trying to think here. I think I like stab. Like he's gonna have to like check raise, check jam, like quite a lot of stuff here, which he just simply won't find at high enough frequency to make stab bad. But again, some of the better regs will punish you there and like protect their checking range on the turn and a 3-bet pot accordingly. So you do have to be careful. When I have been using this high frequency stab strategy on the turn, yeah, I have had to tone it down against certain regs because people do just pick up on it, which is obviously very reasonable. So we got a call up in here, squeeze. Okay, so there's small blind called. Okay. I think we just have a pretty easy check. Jack River's interesting. Alright, we bet small on the flop. Oh, we'll have a look at the size here. Blocking Queen 10 and having a 10 of hearts really sucks. But let's hope now that we beat hands like pocket 9s, ace 8, shit like that, that is just overcalled in the small blind. But I think betting here is probably a mistake. Don't expect him to have a jack, don't expect him to have a king. I think we should be good most of the time. Ace queen. We'll take it. King 5-4, Jack deuce fold. Yeah, what else? Looking at maybe organising a live trip soon as well, just to mix things up a bit, get out of this stuffy room, which would be pretty cool. Not sure where yet. I got fortunately a few different options available to me, and hopefully as well we'll be playing like much higher stakes, but we'll see how we go. Which I'm looking forward to. Like I'm one of the guys who like prefers online poker like a lot more to live poker. Like a lot more. I really struggle. Not struggle like in England anyway. Like I struggle to go down to the Hippodrome or the Empire, whatever it's called, and just like go and grind for a month. But like if I'm abroad or like with all my poker mates or something like that, I actually really enjoy it. I mean, people have been bashing Vegas recently, but like Vegas is just way superior to anything we have in London. Even now, games are softer. Games are just simply more fun, you know, way more fun. Top right versus a whale. We can definitely bet this. Like versus a reg, I'll probably just overbet here. But I think we want to be careful with like the air portion of our bluffing range. So I'm going to check and then we're going to play some rivers. He checks. Now we do bluff. We're not really expecting him to like fold a queen here, but we sort of want to make those 4s and 3s indifferent. So I think I'm just going to go for a slight overbet because these guys get pretty bloody sticky. If it will let me, let's see what this does. Okay, we get it through. But I think it's pretty mandatory bluff once we're there. Ace Jack versus short stack. I'm going to fold. King 9's a call. I think it's the worst King X we call here. Flop top pair. 9-8 suited versus 3-8. So when these guys open a bit larger, it's always worth noting whether they are using different sizes. I've seen a few regs who are like literally fucking using like a large size with their good hands and a small size with their bad hands, which I can't believe happens at 100. I'm going to raise here with the King of Clubs as well. It's pretty nice. I think the mergy size is nice on this board. I don't think we need to raise polar as the board is not like super bad for us. On the 3 now, so it reduces. I think this is generally a pretty bad card for our range when the turn pairs here. So I think we're just going to play check. I'm going to fold King Deuce. On the 5, pretty interesting now. With the King of Clubs here, I'm actually going to check. I think we do unblock some bluffs and we're going to go for the check call. I think it's nice with the King of Clubs actually, because I think he's going to check back a lot of those flush draws that missed. So removing those combos from his range seems nice, but we don't unfortunately get the check. Queen Deuce, damn, okay. To be honest, I think he can think about bluffing that. Like, I know the blockers are bad, etc, etc, etc. And I guess he does have a slither of showdown, but I just think versus Paul, like, over bluffing that spot just seems better than checking. Like, come on. I don't know if it's a mistake. I'm not sure if it bets at equilibrium, but once people go check, raise, check, generally the ranges are going to be pretty capped. We're against the same guy, bottom left. 7 deuce deuce, I think, is a relatively heavy check, but we can bet Jack 9 sometimes. Going to make a loose call. We could even check raise this. Actually, yeah, let's go for the check raise. Why not? Pretty easy to overstab this board. Three of clubs, a spades even. Let's think about this. I don't think it really improves our range too much. We've got Jack high. And I think pretty bad suits here. I think having the club and heart is bad. As like a lot of those combos he's going to call have bricked. So I think I'm going to check here. And unfortunately check give up. I think the key thing here to understand as well is that we just make a lot of our EV like on the flop. And we don't necessarily want to give the EV back by getting too out of line on turns and rivers, which I'm guilty of quite a lot, as some of you guys who play against me will probably know. Bets range 8 deuce deuce. King 10 is pretty close here. I think we'll just call when we have a spade. Even the 10 of spades better than this combo. And bottom left, gonna go for the 3 bet, 4 bet even. Ace king suit is a 3-bet. Obviously super duper easy fold here. 4-betting 1.8% of the time. King 10-4. So from the big blind, obviously we're going to be betting a pretty polar range. I think this guy knows that as well. So I think sizing up to half pot just seems reasonable. Not even a size up, but I think using larger sizes seems good. Because I don't think we can really bet range when we're just betting so much junk. Going to open the 10-8. Guys playing 15-11. Expect overfolds. Cold call here from a nit. So we're going to fold. Jack 6 will open. And yeah, same old story as well. Still not sure what I'm going to do with the fucking YouTube channel. I've got like 500 subs now. Like the other day, like people started randomly subscribing out of nowhere. But I just figured like there's so much good poker content out there that's going to be like more valuable than mine. You know, it's about what route, you know, I really want to go down with it. Because that sort of space, if I'm going to do a social media thing, is not really a space that I think I'll be able to compete in. Just in the sense that there are just tons and tons and tons and tons of better players out there. And the whole playing for content thing's fine, but like, not sure. I think I'd have to stream to do that. But again, like, I'm not really super interested in that either. What's going on here? Going to raise ace 8. Worst ace X will open, king 5 fold. 9-8-4. I'm just going to play range check. Although I think this guy might be a fish. He goes half pot. I'm going to call. I think we just have like a pretty easy cool down here. King queen off. We're going to raise. Now when he checks, obviously we have the best hand a lot. I don't think he's got much. I think he just bets a lot of his spades on the turn. So I'm just going to block here. Like maybe try and induce something, but I think we're going to be good a lot. Okay, we get the call. Let's see what he had. I'm going to guess some sort of like 10-9 off. Some shit like that. Nine eight off, okay. So maybe he would call a little larger. I don't know, it's hard to say. But I just think in that line against a fish, like checking there, betting large there on the river just doesn't seem like the highest EV play. 984 versus 2014. I think we might see this guy at the river. I'll start with half pot. Happy to take it down. Originally, when Stars changed the rate back to weekly, like my initial reaction was I was pretty annoyed with it. But actually it's pretty good because like, you know, I took like 5 days off like last month at my mate's wedding, like all this kind of thing. And like if you decide at the beginning of the week that you're not gonna sort of like aim for the chest this week, then it just takes a lot of pressure off, right? On the right, this guy's finally 4-bet us. We've been peppering him all day. Easy fold. Jack 10 suited versus the fish will open here. How long have we gone for? 24 minutes, cool. I'll set out the next big blind and wrap the vid up. Queen deuce fold. Only a quick one, so I thought I'd just do it just to, yeah, selfishly keep my own head going, keep it in the game. So here we're going to start with check versus the fish. Now when he checks back, I think we just go into blast off mode now. Reasoning being that we expect him to like probably bet all of his queen x6, x these types of hands, and now it's just pretty much going to be a pure double barrel. I might just go like half, or even yeah, like half seems good. Then we'll just bet river. I don't mind betting a bit smaller on the turn sometimes because I think it keeps their range wider on the river, but often with fish it doesn't. Like fish just do some weird shit, and it took me ages to understand that the way that you play versus regs and the way you play versus fish is like not just a little bit different, but very different. Like the way the ranges are made up are different, the sizes you can use are different, the way they think are different. So it's pretty like gnarly to see, and like when you start looking at some of the data and stuff, it's really cool just to see how you do literally play completely differently. Like it's pretty mad. Cool guys, well thanks for watching. We'll try and do a few more of these. But yeah, we'll see which direction I take it in. In the back of my brain I still have this like fitness sort of channel to do, or that I want to do, but like again the barrier to entry is super low, and it's like a very crowded environment, right? So we'll see, we'll see. But if I do it, it's not really going to be a money thing. It's just going to be something that I do like just for myself, and you know that if anyone does take anything from it, that's pretty cool too. I know a lot of you guys have enjoyed these videos and have asked me like why I've stopped doing them. I don't really know why actually. I think especially like now as I'm mixing in a bit more 200 zoom, like I'm not sure it makes tons of sense to be like talking like in depth about my strategy like on these vids. Not that like everybody's gonna watch it, but yeah, it can just be, it doesn't make sense to me to be saying what I'm thinking when you know good regs might potentially start be watching some of these videos or just see it on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, anyway, yeah, we'll see how we go. Summer's almost over, so guys, yeah, get sun while you can because it's, you know, it's gonna be gone soon. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.